Hey everyone, Reece here from GB Tech Reviews. We have the Huawei Mate 80 Pro Max on the left and the Samsung Galaxy S9 on the right. I'll show you the back ends of both. Both sexy. I wanted to show you a couple of things and just explain a little bit as well. So, where to begin really? The camera on the Samsung is very good. Like it takes most pictures really well. It's when you start zooming in, and I'll make sure I take some pictures and put them at the end of this video as well for you to see. I don't know, the zoom on the Samsung is just not very good. The Mate 80 Pro Max, I think they've both got they've both got different ways of handling images, so how they edit them for the final product. Huawei is softer and more glowy, and the Samsung is more sharp and pixelated. Now, that's not Samsung making it pixelated themselves purposely. That's Samsung over-sharpening to make it look really detailed when it's actually really not. I've heard the S27 Ultra is going to have a new camera sensor, and it's going to be 200 meg. So when this goes back and that comes out, I'm definitely going to try that out. Now for the Mate, it softens the pictures a little bit, and I'll show you an example of this now. Let me get the gallery app in both. So here's a prime example of this. This is the 80 Pro Max, and you can see it's softened the image with a bit of a glow effect on there, which to me looks a lot better than Samsung's over-sharpened and overexposed image. The Huawei has much better balance of everything, to be honest with you. It's just better, I think, personally. Granted, ignoring the background compared to the Samsung, obviously hasn't got as colourful, but there's a big difference in clarity as well. So, given that into consideration as well, I'm going to show you one other thing. I'm going to show you the brightness difference. Whoa, bad throat. I'm going to show you the brightness difference. Now, you can see here already that they're quite similar. I'm going to use the one-time zoom to see if this makes a big difference. The Samsung, for some reason, seems to be on the brightest already. I'm not quite sure why, because, yeah. A little extra on the Huawei. And you can see straight away there's quite a big difference between the two. I have noticed this in broad daylight as well. It's overcast today, but the Huawei gets so much brighter than the Samsung, and that's not taking into consideration their privacy settings. That obviously dims it a lot more as well, which that's what it's for. So apart from that, camera wise, it's very subjective to what you should go for. The Samsung I would go for if you just want an all-around good phone that has everything work. Quick snapshots of things. You might miss a lot of pictures though, unfortunately. You can't zoom in and get wildlife properly because, as you've seen, it over-sharpens unless you like that. Now the Huawei, it's got its restrictions, but with more and more updates as go in, more times go in, Huawei's catching up now. Performance-wise, for the camera, before I jump ahead, the camera has been perfect on the Huawei for me. Like, I've taken thousands of pictures on this. I've even had trouble with storage because it's hard to pay for cloud storage. I upgraded from the 70 Pro Plus with its half terabyte storage to this 1 terabyte because there was a big offer on, because I was worried I couldn't get cloud storage, which is still the case. But I take so many pictures, I need the terabyte anyway. With the Samsung, I've barely touched it. I put my SIM card in there for a day, I'm going to put it back in again, and I'm not taking a lot of pictures. The Huawei I do. I don't know what it is. The Samsung feels very plastic and cheap. The Huawei feels really solid. It's basically like before. Apple and Samsung years ago, before Huawei were really in the... Well, before Huawei were in the picture, because they weren't before. I don't know what it is. Samsung's very light, very plasticky. Huawei is very metal and very heavy. The camera bump makes a big difference to this as well. You know, you got... That's stupid. This... That is solid. Now, I know... Oh, come on. I know Samsung's changing this with a vertical Google strip, I'm going to call it, because it is a Google strip. They're copying. But who doesn't copy in this industry these days? Sorry about the throat clearing. It's a bit of a pain in the bum. So, if you're a risk taker and you don't mind sacrificing, say, notifications, just being a little bit more restricted, go for the Huawei. There's no doubt. If you want to have an easier life and you like taking pictures, just quick snaps, and you're not like a pernickety person with pictures either, go for the Samsung. I think you'd be more than happy with the Samsung and the Huawei. You know, I've got all the Google apps on here, they all work. You know, Facebook, YouTube. I thought it was TikTok then. Yeah, YouTube. Performance-wise, the S26 Ultra is the latest, and the Huawei, they're still catching up with their chipsets. So performance-wise, I tested a few games out on both of these devices, but I had a lot of trouble with signing in multiple phones. It was bloody annoying, I must admit. So I wasn't going to do this, but I will do a little bit here now. What I'll do is I'll move my head to the side so I can actually see the screens. I'll do Facebook first. This wasn't part of the plan. Well, Huawei won that one. Go to YouTube. Huawei. But you got to remember now as well. Oh, why did you do that? Huawei is optimized heavily as well. So it's always closing things in the background, making sure they don't stay open. So for it to start applications up first, through a container as well, before Samsung, that's pretty bloody incredible, and shows how capable they are already. So what's your take? That was Huawei again. Straight away. I don't believe I can try this. But it's where the games come in, is where everything changes. Because it's got to connect on the Huawei, and then it's got to go through. You see there's a bit of a gap there. I don't know about RAID. Let's have a look. RAID will probably fly through on the Samsung here. You know, there is a leap. There's a big leap difference there. Now, there shouldn't be any problems with both phones holding things in the recent spar where you left off. But Samsung actually had a problem. I did not expect that. Fair enough. That loaded. No, I'm surprised here actually. Because Huawei should be loading, not Samsung. Because it's through a container. So yeah. That's just a quick overview really. My personal opinion is going to be Huawei. I am biting the finger a little bit, trying to think, should I just stay with Samsung? So I can try and adapt a little bit and have cloud storage. But my recommendation is the Huawei phone, if you can get it. You know, Wonder Mobile's got them. They're really cheap for what they are. They bypass with tax and stuff by putting it down to something else. I have no problems with the Huawei. You know, the cloud storage, it is what it is. It's everything else works perfectly fine. My internet's faster, I get more signal than Samsung. There's 2 EE SIM cards in here. Full bars. 1 bar. And that's because this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and Samsung has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 antennas. That makes it a big difference. It's been Reese here at GB Tech Reviews, and let me know what you think of the video, and hope to see you again. And I have to add, because I'm using the Mate 70 Pro Plus to take the videos of everything else, the air gesture on here is just perfect. So I'll try and see how well I can get this. I'm going to put my hand over that, grab it, now how much more convenient can that get? It's literally as simple as that. Okay, I'm going to grab that over. Ah, too fast. I mean, you can't say that's a gimmick. That's awesome.